Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Downloadable Opinions, episode number 11. VR is back, and it is sexy as hell. My name is Brian Best, and joining me as always is the villainous Adam Gayton. How are you doing, Adam? Adam is asleep right now in his chair. He's now awake. Caution now. Adam is a very terrifying creature when he just wakes up. He has a machete. Adam, put it down. Stop. No, don't do it. No!
Why am I holding a machete again?
I have no idea. But anyways, Adam Gayton's here. This is Downloadable Opinions, the place where we talk about our opinions on the game industry and all the stuff that happens within the gaming kind of technology, kind of awesome, kind of cool stuff that goes on that usually ends up in your hands at some point and injects fun times into your body. So, as I said before, VR is back and it is sexy. So, a Kickstarter that started today, which is August 1st. If you don't know, we record on Wednesdays and they release on the weekends.
That's why we don't have good news by the time it comes out.
But this is our opinions on the news, okay? Listen to the intro again, okay? This is probably the Kickstarter campaign that you're going to hear just now since Ouya's kind of ending now and going off into actual development. This is going to be the next Kickstarter thing that you're going to hear a lot about. Today, within 6 hours, they have doubled their asking goal of $250,000 and will likely double again after you've heard this podcast. The project has already got support from Epic Games' Cliff Bleszinski, Valve's co-founder Gabe Newell, id Software John Carmack, Unity's CEO Dave Helgeson. It's got a lot of star power behind it already, so let me just tell you a bit about what this is. It's called Oculus Rift. It's a new virtual reality set designed specifically for video gamers that will change the way you think about video or gaming forever. With an incredible wide field of view, high-resolution display, and ultra-low latency head tracking, the Rift provides a truly immersive experience that allows you to step inside your favorite game and explore new worlds like never before. A lot of places like The Verge are calling this the next step towards having an actual holodeck from Star Trek, as well as, it's just a really kind of cool-looking VR set. And to be honest, it looks really cool, and if the dev prices or dev kits are to be believed as retail prices, then we're looking between $150 to $300 to have something that's stereoscopic 3D, as well as probably one of the best looking monitors you'll ever have in your life. So, Adam, excuse me, I'm drinking my orange juice, and I have a question for you. Have you checked it?
Lies.
It is not beer. It is orange juice. And you know what? To be honest, we're just going to sidetrack here for a second. For some reason, this orange juice has less vitamin C in it than his apple juice. It makes no sense.
I always win.
That has no sense.
As Charlie Sheen would say, winning.
Wow. Because that wasn't a dead meme.
Yeah, but I haven't used it yet, so for me it's new.
Okay, well, fine. It's new for you.
I'm still getting taught by Alan Cross.
Well, speaking... yeah, fuck you. Speaking of old terms, dead memes that we never thought would return again, VR is back again in the news. Like, you remember back in the 90s, we had, all this kind of, I don't know if you remember.
Do you remember Palladium Mississauga having that virtual fighting game?
I remember we had,
Which was terrible. It never worked.
It never worked, but if you're not familiar, Palladium was pretty much, the biggest arcade. It's a huge arcade, but they had a VR simulator. They had not only, fighting, but they had, a shooting, a cannon thing, as well as a roller coaster simulator.
Yeah, that thing. I wouldn't dare to go on that thing. I saw what some people were doing on it. Thinking, fuck that.
Screw that. I don't want to be a part of it. But anyways, VR is back, and this is a term that I never thought would come back past the 90s. So, have you checked this out online yet?
No.
God damn it. Basically, the device kind of looks like an oversized ski goggles, essentially. There's no way.
That's kind of what I assumed they would have been. But...
Yeah. Obviously, it's attached, but it's Do you think it's going to be out for PC gaming first? We know that. What do you think of having this kind of stereoscopic 3D? And the way they show it is that you'll have it on your face, and you'll have a 100-degree view of everything in front of you. So it's basically going to be the best monitor you can ever buy if it works properly. What do you think of having something like this as possibly your primary monitor?
Well, considering it means I wouldn't have to look at some square TV when there's all this other stuff around me, and I wouldn't have to see people coming down and making fun of me. Actually, no, now that I think about it. This would suck in my current situation because it's bad enough I have noise-canceling headphones and I get yelled at when I don't answer things. But now when I'm technically looking at them but not looking at them, that would piss them off. I get slapped when I'm not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that's a really good thing. You could really screw with friends if they put that on because they obviously can't see you.
Yeah.
So you can just kind of walk up and just go, when they're least expecting it, they could be playing Silent Hill. That would be the worst thing to do. Yeah, playing a horror game, and you know he's doing one, so you just walk up behind and go,
oh god, that would be terrible. And he's wearing noise canceling.
You can't see.
You can't see, or you can't hear as well if you're wearing noise canceling headphones.
This is a bad idea now. I don't want to support this anymore.
This would be amazing. The ability to be immersed in a game completely is really kind of
just
cool.
Make sure you're alone in the house when you're doing it.
Very true, very true. Or you really, really trust whoever you're, rooming with. Well, speaking of that, what would you think? You play Call of Duty and you play Battlefield 3. What do you think of this as from a shooter standpoint? Because then, you kind of get rid of an entire joystick.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be a lot easier to get a good idea of what's around you because. In this case, there's nothing else to distract you. You're literally seeing what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Which I imagine, especially too, because my vision's a hell of a lot better than what my TV tells me my vision is, that you could probably easily notice something that's a little further away because you can actually see it moving. Because there's nothing else around, either on the wall or next to around you. No noises, no movement. No cat to move in front of you to make you think just to look over for that split second.
Yeah.
Literally, if something moves, you know it's on your screen. You know that you need to shoot at it.
Yeah. But what does this mean for controls of video games as well? Because it does do head tracking, so you are eliminating one of your joysticks. I'm not too sure which one, but
to be honest, I wouldn't want to. I hope they would turn that option off because I'd still rather have that control.
Yeah.
Because, honestly, it's gonna be weird if you're kind of doing this all the time. You're gonna really screw with yourself, and I can't imagine that's gonna be easy to get used to. So I think it would be nice if they take that option off because a lot of people are so used to that right stick being your camera control.
Yeah, but if it's faster though, I would see a lot of gamers using that.
I would think so too. It just depends on if people can adjust to that, because then you got to wonder, well, what's that right stick going to be for them now?
Yeah, well, it opens it up for different uses, absolutely, different button controls as well. But it's because you can control the speed of which your head turns. So if you really need to turn around quickly for whatever reason in a game,
a horror game,
Amnesia. I can totally
Resi
see.
could certainly benefit. Slender could benefit from that.
All these really, really, really scary horror games. Yeah,
I did a stupid thing and played Slender.
Why? Why did you do that? I have Amnesia and I'm never going to play it.
Which is weird to me because I usually can't stand horror games. I never wanted to see that thing again. Because I made two mistakes. One, I put headphones on. And two, it was at 11 o'clock at night.
Bad ideas all around. And if you had something like this, you would probably never sleep again. Ever.
That's okay. I don't need sleep.
You don't need sleep. It's for the weak. But yeah, a lot of these developers that are getting behind this are PC driven. Can you see this coming to the consoles, either as a third-party application, or can you see one of the game companies buying it? And if so, which one?
Well, actually, if they're looking for gimmicks, Nintendo.
You know what? Nintendo does need something new to make it different from all the others.
Although they wouldn't have as much of a use for it. So, I would say Ubisoft would probably be the best bet because they'd have the bigger spectrum of what to use it for. Because, EA, really, it'd be for... Well, they don't have too much first person. Most of especially with their sports stuff, I can't understand why they use it. So Ubisoft, considering they make a lot of shooters and a lot of other things in the background.
I know why EA Sports would love it, is because it would actually make their first-person view on their different games usable. Or at least,
Well, thankfully they haven't decided to think that was a good idea in NHL yet, so...
Yet is the key word there.
That's what scares me. I don't ever want to see that. They thought it was a great idea to do as a quarterback in Madden. What kind of a stupid idea was that? Now you're just going to have to see 300-pound black men just charge at you.
For some people, that's a good thing.
I'd rather play Slender.
Anyways, the Kickstarter campaign from this day has 30 days left. By the time you hear this, it'll probably be less than 25. Basically, they have a bunch of different pledges. To get an actual dev kit of the Oculus Rift, you must pay. It is $275, and that is a unassembled Rift prototype. So moving on to our next story of the day, and this is going to actually be a really shorter day because I'm a little tired, but whatever. I haven't had a coffee yet. I've had orange juice.
Yeah, you should be fine now.
Resident Evil 6, Capcom has released more information about their upcoming installment of the Resident Evil franchise. Fourth campaign in Resident Evil 6, featuring Ada Wong, will be unlockable after players beat the first 3 storylines, with Leon, Chris, and newcomer Jake. The other feature, which is a little cooler, in my opinion, that's been announced, is the Agent Hunter mode. This game mode will allow 2 other players to jump in on another person's campaign game and fight them using special zombies. Think Left 4 Dead meets Perfect Dark's counter co-op basically gameplay. So Adam, let's talk about the first little bit of it. The campaigns. There are 3 storylines, overarching storylines of Resident Evil 6. This is kind of the first time they've done this kind of split stories like this anyways. Leon, who's obviously playing the same kind of character you did in Resident Evil 4. Chris, who is the badass kind of space marine that he is, being a 7-foot fridge of death. And then we have this new guy, Jake, who's apparently Adam Wesker's kid, our clone copy anyways, that has a lot of special powers. What do you think of Ada Wong's campaign? It's pretty much going to be similar to the Ada Wong files in Resident Evil 4, if you ever played it. But what do you think of adding this extra storyline? And what do you think of the storyline overall of Resident Evil 6?
Well, considering that this would probably bring back the meaning of the word replay value,
okay,
which is a word that doesn't seem to get used very often anymore, because to most companies, replay value becomes just playing the game again.
True. And are you surprised that this isn't being considered as DLC?
Yeah. Because, well, unless Capcom figures that they shouldn't put out any more DLC on disc for a while since they've gotten caught twice.
That might be a thing. They don't know how to hide it properly.
So maybe they're just like, you know what? Let's just try it once without doing this. But then what happens if somebody finds a 5th campaign? And they're just like, what the hell, man?
They find Cheryl or there's an Ashley Graham.
What would that be? Just hiding in barrels for the whole game?
The president's daughter is just hiding in barrels the entire time until you unlock the armored suit of death.
Actually, who am I kidding? It'd be Jill.
Yeah, probably Jill.
Who am I kidding?
Jill. But yeah, multiple storylines. I mean, you're right. It's going to have a lot of replay value. It's definitely going to appease fans of at least the next generation of Resident Evil games. And I'll say next generation starting from Resident Evil 4, where they've really kind of they changed from the static camera angles to the over-the-shoulder with Resident Evil 4.
They do have to get past the first 3 campaigns, though. So that's what's... A lot of people are a little bit, I guess, intrigued and kind of worried, too, because all 3 campaigns are going to be a little different in terms of the gaming aspect. Because the generalization is that Leon's is going to be a more traditional... Chris will be pretty much Resi 5 all over again, and then Jake's story will be completely streamlined third-person action. Yeah. So I guess people are kind of sitting there thinking, okay, can I make it through all 3 of these without wanting to stab myself over it? Mm-hmm. So I guess the 4th one gives them an incentive to want to have to play through them.
Yeah. But, it makes sense, and people obviously a lot of Resident Evil fans are going to pick this up regardless of what they announce, and this is all gravy for them. What we're seeing now is just people that may have forgotten about the series and basically, Ada Wong would be kind of cool. But the next feature that they announced, the Agent Hunter mode, definitely is something that a lot of people would be, I would think, more interested in to get new gamers on board. But it's basically, like I said, a cross between Left 4 Dead meets Perfect Dark's counter co-op mode. The interesting part about this is it's dropped into a random person's campaign game. So you can team up with a buddy, and you can go in there and use special zombies to attack these guys, and try to mess up and try to stop them from reaching their goals. And if you do, you get points. So what do you think of this, and what do you think about counter co-op in general? Do you think it's a great idea for games to embrace something like this?
Well, considering that the last time it was really perfected was Perfect Dark, yes, do it. Do it more. Do it now.
Why do you say that?
Because it was such a great idea. Think about it. All this time, you could either do one of two things. You either play next to a friend who pretty much just made the game completely impossible to lose at. Any, especially back in the N64 days, if you played a game co-op, it was pretty much a guarantee that unless both of you were complete retards, you could get through it. Because usually the same system was the revive system or something like that.
Yeah.
So you would never have to worry. As long as one person just hid in a corner and stayed alive long enough, you would never lose.
Co-op has been done to death, and we've seen that in Gears of War. We've seen that in multiple war games and everything.
And that's what made Counter-Operative and Perfect Dark so good and so much fun, because now you have to figure out, okay, if you're smart, you will stand around next to a guard looking like a guard, and then all of a sudden turn. Although most people never did that. They just ran straight down the hallway hoping they'd find them. But
also didn't help that a lot of my friends were screen lookers. They always looked down and see where it was.
Unless you were Oddjob and GoldenEye, then it didn't matter where they found you. They still couldn't shoot you right away.
It's true. But yeah. You know what? To be honest, I would really like counter co-op in games again. Like, just seeing, like, this is kind of cool.
Imagine that in a game like Modern Warfare now. Or even Battlefield to that extent.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be harder.
Because it'd be a lot harder for the guy to finish his mission now. Because now there'd be somebody that isn't complete AI retard anymore.
Yeah.
And would actually be capable of shooting and being capable of doing something really smart.
Yeah.
Mind you, the only thing I would do is pull up with a sniper, sit at the farthest corner of the map, and just there and wait, okay, you're going to have to come down this hallway. Come here.
Just sit with the biggest gun and just be like, okay, bring it. Just to fill the entire hallway with bullets.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I really hope this goes well, and I kind of want to see some other games take it. I would love to see COD do it, if it's possible, or Battlefield, just because, like, I miss the shooting stuff. I don't know.
How can you miss shooting stuff? There's so much shooting stuff.
But I just miss good shooting stuff. I know that's just kind of weird saying that.
Don't worry, Borderlands and BioShock are coming out soon, so just hang in there. Hang in there.
I am really pumped for Hitman Absolution now, to be honest. I know that's nothing what you were talking about, and it's not really even a shooter game, but
Yeah, because when we say shooting, we refer to not hiding and dragging people into shadows so they don't get found shooting.
Don't do that in this... whatever. But you're right, BioShock Infinite as well is just going to be bloody awesome.
And Borderlands 2 with their, as they say, bajillion guns.
I haven't played all the way through Borderlands.
I haven't either, because there's that part where you have to drive a car and it's a car combat boss level sort of kind of thing, and I suck at driving in that game. It just killed me. I
haven't even gotten to that. I barely passed the first boss right now, and then I picked it up for something that was different.
Yeah, that's because I'm a level grinder, so I just kind of I was addicted to the boss. I just kept burning him.
Burn. Anyways, let's move on to quick time events. So, the new Final Fantasy 13 game has just entered production. This will turn out to be Final Fantasy 13-3. Why the F is Square Enix still using this franchise as a sequel?
I'm really concerned what they're going to think of doing, because, I mean, let's think of how things went. When Final Fantasy X had a game, it got a new one out, and it was Charlie's Angels with a Final Fantasy name on the license. Final Fantasy VII got a bunch of things, and it was a really shitty third-person shooter, a really shitty cell phone game, really shitty... Well, actually, no, the movie was pretty good.
The movie was pretty decent.
Crisis Core was okay. Okay, this conversation's starting to be
But
not
even
depressing.
Still, it's a progression.
Oh, Final Fantasy IV with their DLC on Wii.
What?
With the After Years. You never heard of the After Years? They made a complete sequel, episodic sequel on Virtual Console.
Really?
Which was really good.
I never heard of that. So it shows how much I play Wii.
That was probably the last thing I played on Wii. I never even finished it.
Wii. But yeah, no, it concerns me that they're using Final Fantasy 13 this much, and I wonder if they're covering their bases for, they've been talking about 13 Versus being canceled and all this other stuff.
No, they're just being like Valve and trying to just make games nobody wants until we get the one that we do want.
Well, I just want a Final Fantasy game.
I probably, yeah, I said it last time, but seriously, 15 needs to be an old school Final Fantasy.
It does. It really does. It needs to be...
I'm not saying 8-bit, just don't make it stupid, random new leveling system that makes no sense until you're halfway through the game and start to figure it out. But by then it's too late.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that I managed to play through Final Fantasy X all the way to the comm lanes without actually leveling up?
Yes, you did. Not on air, but yes, you did.
Yeah, I completely forgot what the sphere grid was supposed to do. I assumed that sphere level was my actual level. So, up until the comm line, I can't remember what the boss was, but it was the boss literally before you get to Mount Gagazet.
Yeah.
It was like this big, chunky, wooden-looking thing or something.
Oh, yeah, it's the thing that...
But, yeah, he was the last one I got to. So when you think of it, I beat Seymour twice without actually any levels. So really what I was doing was Aeoning the shit out of things and until they were all gone, and then by then I had about 3/4 of his health done, so I just kept having to whack away and using every potion that I had. Every once in a while I'd be like, why is this game so hard? And then finally, after I couldn't beat that boss 25 times, I looked at... Oh, shit.
And then it's 3 hours later, filling out the sphere grid for each
No,
character.
I actually just restarted the game.
Oh, wow.
Well, that was because at that time I had rented it.
Yeah.
And then that's when I finally bought it.
I see. Well, anyways, moving on to the next QuickTime event, Adam.
Well, this is nothing too special, but EA says they're going to be keeping a close eye on the Wii U because, you know, as they've already announced, they are releasing Mass Effect 3 for the Wii U. Mm-hmm. I guess, well, of course EA wants to keep an eye on something that could make them a lot of money.
Well, EA is going to be... Obviously, all of the developers are going to be keeping a close eye on Wii U just because it's Nintendo's first kind of hardcore gaming console since GameCube, to be honest.
Hardcore.
Well, they're trying to market it more back to the gamers, and EA is probably thinking about, like, if Mass Effect 3 does all right on Wii U, then they'll probably bring in some more titles over to, like, Battlefield yeah.
I'm just not convinced still at this point that even, like, I don't know if you'll ever see a Battlefield on Wii U. I don't feel like it would work on it.
Depending on how many people buy the Wii U, I can definitely see people wanting to have like something like that on there. And given how, I don't know, I'm just hoping they work out some deals where maybe Wii U gets access to...
Can you imagine how annoying that would be? To have 3 consoles with the same game, so it would be even more like a big deal on what better exclusive games or what?
Yeah, I guess...
Nintendo technically owns the majority of exclusive games. The thing is that anything on the Wii, nobody wants on the other consoles.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with EA, but one thing I'm really happy about is the Arma 2 mod, DayZ, passes 900,000 members.
For a mod. Let's put that out there.
For a free mod, by the way.
It's like with any other big underground thing. When the word of mouth spreads it like wildfire, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I know at least 4 YouTube channels that have gone ballistic on this thing.
And to be honest, it's a scary game. Like, I have Arma 2 and I've logged into DayZ and I've played a couple hours. And I suck at it, apparently, because, like, I see a town, I see zombies there, and I'm just like, those zombies are faster than me. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm running into the water as soon as they spot me. Apparently zombies can't catch you in there. So, but the coolest thing I found was an actual boat, and I was just like, I'm in a boat. What am I going to do about that?
And then you're just kind of like, and knock your boat out of your hands.
And it's like, no. I got T-Pain on my side. Go away.
Yeah, just push him out, let them take him while you run.
Eat his enormous hat!
Auto-tuning his death. Oh, no.
Oh. Well, the next story that you got is pretty interesting to me as well.
But, why do you always have to kind of like you're actually going to say it?
Because they're supposed to be QuickTime events. They're supposed to be
but you made it sound like you were about to say what it was. I'm like, no, you're taking my story away.
Because I'm teasing everyone, okay?
Stop being a douche. You're being a douche to them and to me now.
I'm sorry to you guys, but not to you.
Can I say Alan Cross for the win?
Frack you.
But yeah, Final Fantasy 3 is going to be launching on the Ouya. Or the Ouya.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
Alan Cross.
Whatever.
I'm just going to keep using that on... Nobody even knows what the hell I'm talking about anymore. But yeah, they're launching on the Ouya. And I mean, that's... Considering it's a game that not a lot of us actually do get to play, because it only got released for the DS.
Yep.
So that's a pretty nice thing. I don't know whether it's going to be similar to the DS version, if it literally will be the original. And if it's the original but translated in English, that would be pretty cool.
It will be pretty cool. And to be honest, this actually opens up... This is a bigger story because Square is on board with Ouya now.
I hope they don't redo it in 3D again. Seriously, we don't need... That would be even more script. There's 3 Final Fantasy 13 games, and there's 3 different versions of Final Fantasy 3. What is it with them 3 then? Anything with a 3 on the end of it's destined to repeat itself again and again and again.
To be honest, it's not going to be hard for them to do this. They're just going to have to make an emulator that works on Android and then throw over whatever ROM or stuff they have from Final Fantasy 3 and then put it on. Looks pretty cool, and I'm happy to see that the developers are actually jumping on board with you. And this could be the first of many. That's the thing. We'll see what EA, Ubisoft,
I'm hoping so. And considering that's a pretty big name to go on the Ouya right away, it makes you think... When I said, when we announced that, when we were talking about it, that I wasn't interested in it, just because that game is now on it, my interest has now suddenly been caught.
Yeah.
Because if they can get a game of that status on at launch,
yep.
I'm really interested now to see what else they can do.
Well, the thing is, this is bad news for EA and Activision, to be honest, because when Ouya announced that they were going to support OnLive services, they told OnLive they don't want their games playable on Ouya. So basically, when you launch OnLive on Ouya, you will not have access to EA games and will not have access to Activision games. So if Square's jumping on, they're filling in a gigantic void of AAA games.
Way to not support the 2 biggest douchebag companies in gaming. Oh no!
Well, it's going to be their
Ubisoft
folly.
is literally just going to kick open the door and walk in and just take over everything.
Exactly.
At the rate these 2 companies are portraying themselves, they're not doing themselves any favors.
I'm really hoping... Ubisoft is basically my white knight right now. It's basically they can do no wrong for the time being.
If Watch Dogs sucks, they're going to lose all that heat.
Oh, bam! Not even Toby Turner can save you. I'm sorry. But if it does suck. But anyways, last story of the QuickTime events. Modern Warfare 3 September DLC leaked pics of 3 maps and loading screens.
Since you don't care about Call
of Duty. I don't care about
Call of Duty. I don't know why I listed this story on your side. This was a dumb idea to begin with. But what happened is 3 pictures of the loading screens. As most people know who play Call of Duty, there's always a loading screen that says Team Deathmatch or whatever the mode is, and then the map name, and then a picture of, I guess, the background of the map. Or whatever. Yeah. And 3 new ones got released. One was Boardwalk, which is pretty much like, a boardwalk. Stores sides on by the shore. Gulch. No, it's not Blood Gulch. Sorry, Halo fans. But it is, the big desert mountains and everything else.
Damn it, Caboose.
I love Caboose. And the last one is Parish, which I'm not really sure what... It looks like it's almost like Victorian World War II with just updated weaponry, because that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like it must be in England, because it just has that really Victorian feel to it.
I'm sorry, did you say Paris?
Parish.
Oh, Parish. Okay.
I might have said Paris.
Actually, I think that might be a throwback to one of the Call of Duty 2 games.
It could be.
Because I remember something just in my mind with Lee Enfield just going out and shooting stuff.
You never know, but...
Yeah.
Either way, whatever. We knew there was going to be a couple more maps before the game's lifespan went away, so...
Absolutely.
Because I'm so stoked for Black Ops, it's not even funny now.
I'm really looking forward to future shooting gamingness with a president that looks like Rosalind. Yes. Laura Rosalind. Excuse me while I Battlestar Galactica my face out right now. And now we're back.
We'll be right back after these messages.
So let's get into our open-ended question. What games or games were you unbeatable at, either against a hard difficulty or with friends? So Adam, I'm going to throw this to you because you've thought of the answers and I don't know what I'm going to say yet.
Well, for me, pretty much I can't really say there was any game that literally no friend could kick my ass at.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Halo, Soul Calibur, GoldenEye. No matter what game there was always somebody who could one-up me. The term unbeatable literally means that no one could touch you when it came to it. And I know guys that are just untouchable at, Modern Warfare. There's a guy on my Modern Warfare 3 list right now who has a 2.35 KDR. And the guy's played for less time than I have, which is scary.
Oh wow.
But and there's another guy that I played with. He used to be top 20,000 ranks in there, and I'm talking because half the list now is hacked. Because I don't know what people think, but thinking that their name is at the top of a leaderboard of a game where it looks like they've clearly hacked it, I don't know what makes them feel so special about it.
Yeah.
It's like people who glitch thinking they're all happy that they're the top of something. You didn't do anything to get it.
No, absolutely not.
But anyway, there are always guys like that I know that literally are the best of the best. The guys who could do e-gaming, not win, but be able to actually, fight for it. Mm-hmm. But for me, I guess probably the game that I felt like I was unbeatable was when I was playing the original Modern Warfare multiplayer with a couple of my friends, and I'd never touched the game before. I'd never played that game. I'd only played 2 at that point because I completely I got my Xbox after that came out. So the first game that I got a touch at was World at War.
I see.
So when that came out, and they were playing through the original, we finally played the multiplayer. I'd never seen the maps. I'd never touched the weapons. Never got any idea. But because I have such a good reaction time, a good eye, and just I'm not an idiot who runs around in a circle trying to find people.
Yep.
I would win every round, and not even just like barely. I would win by like at least 10 kills per round.
Yeah. I remember like it was definitely a shooting game was my unbeatable one. Like I've probably the one that sticks out of my mind was Halo 2 and Halo 3. In Halo 2, I actually competed for in the World Cyber Games, or at least I went out to their regional tryouts. I thought it was unbeatable up until that point. And then I met the guys at the World Cyber Games regional place, and they kicked my ass. Like, they royally kicked my ass. So, it's a very... I was very, very good at that game, and I really kicked a lot of ass in it, but, time to gauge. now I suck at Halo Reach.
It's like when I was a kid, I was playing a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time, and I was doing really good with that.
Yeah.
And then when you face the people who've paid like $500 to max their decks out to be perfect,
yeah,
you just kind of walk in and go, "Well, shit, this isn't going to go well."
This is going to go terrible. But the other game I was actually really good at was Age of Empires 2, Age of Kings. Once I get in there, it was pretty much me and the uber microness and stuff. And then StarCraft came out, StarCraft came out. StarCraft 2.
And then every played StarCraft and kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah, and then Ensemble Studios shut down.
If you were Korean, you automatically meant you were going to win.
Yeah.
It's not even stereotypical. It was fucking true then.
True, but it's just like Age of Empires had so much more stuff. There were so many more resources you had to collect, so much more micromanagement.
Yeah, but we don't all like working.
I know.
But then again, I don't like RTSs, so I don't like being a lazy gamer.
I love RTS. Well, I like RTSs when I can just own everything. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, the other game, because I never mentioned the hardest difficulty AI. For me, it's. I guess it's kind of a funny one because it's not because I was better, but because I knew cheats around it.
Yeah.
Any NHL game that EA has ever released, at least around the age of like 98-ish, once it started going 3D, there's always some stupid, easy way to score.
Yeah.
I remember in 98, all you had to do was go right up against the boards on the blocker side of the goalie and take a slap shot just at the midpoint of the between the blue line and the red line where the net is.
Yeah.
And you would score over the shoulder every time. Could be the best. You could have a 99 overall goalie that you created. It would still go. He would not be able to stop it. There was a Super Nintendo game that I don't think. No, EA didn't make that one. It was called NHL Stanley Cup. And there were three. I think it was 3 different shot buttons. There was a wrist shot, a slap shot, and then you hit the X button, I think, and it was kind of like a dump.
Yeah.
But you could use it as a shot because if you did it straight from center ice, straight down the middle, it would go over the goalie and in. It was such a stupid goal, but that was like, if I was ever losing a game, I'd be like, okay, flick.
Cheap shots.
And get 2 quickies, and then I'd be back in.
Yep. Back in at the win.
And even now, like especially because people use that as a crutch now in NHL 12. That's why I can't wait till September when the new one comes out. So at least for 2 months, I can kind of enjoy it until Black Ops comes out. Because then by then, everybody else will have found some cheap shot.
Yeah, true. Well, I gotta say, in terms of AI difficulty, the Uncharted Drake's Fortune, I sat down when I was living in Hamilton, and we beat that thing from like the easiest difficulty to the hardest difficulty with pretty well no problem. It was fun-ish.
Yeah, difficulty in Call of Duty games is not fun.
I don't imagine.
Because on easy, they just don't shoot you. And on extreme, or what's it, insane or whatever, expert.
Yeah.
They can shoot you if you're hiding in a pinhole this big, and they would have a bullet go straight through your eye socket within like 2 seconds.
Okay. Talk to the fans of the Far Cry series.
Oh, I was gonna say Far Cry, and that was on easy.
We should talk about the hardest AI difficulties we've faced. Far Cry, definitely. And there's been some Metal Gear Solid games I've played where it's like on hardest difficulties, it's like
Yeah, but that's just not being as careful, because usually what'll happen is you'll stand up against the wall for 2 minutes and damn it, dead.
No health.
Because you don't have the patience.
Yeah, and that's
why I suck at Metal Gear Solid games. I'm not patient.
You don't have to be. I'm running through a lot of levels right now.
Maybe I'd like 4, but I never played 4.
You'll like 4. It's definitely a different game. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for us on this episode of Downloadable Opinions, episode number 11. Adam, what do you got? Do you have your sports podcast coming out this week?
I don't even know if I'm going to do one. If I am, I might record it tomorrow. It just depends if I can get off my ass to do it now.
Okay. Well, if you got it out, that's going to be out on Sunday, or basically tomorrow if you're listening to us on Saturday. I've got Red, White, and Reviewed. We're going to be doing Man of the Year, a Robin Williams film.
I never got to see that movie.
Yeah, it's definitely not what you expect. It's part comedy, part political thriller, part really weird action movie. So check that out. That's also going to be on the channel and Download Opinions. Thank you for listening to us, and please like and subscribe this video.
And for open-ended questions, if you guys ever have something you want to ask us, or just something for shits and giggles, just put it in the comments box. We'll read them.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw it down there. We'll put it up there, and we will answer them on the show.
If they're good.
If they're fantastic.
Actually, who am I kidding? If there's one question on there, we better answer
it. Just one can't... Yeah, it's like...
Brian, you're not allowed to post a question in the comments section.
Okay, fine. Or watch. It's going to be something just making fun of us or something like that. We'll just have to answer that at that point.
Yep.
Brian, why are you such a dupe? Dupe? Yes.
See, this is exactly why they're going to have to make fun of us.
Yep, pretty much. Brian, why can't you speak English?
Me fail English? That's impossible.
That's impossible. I got hooked on phonics. I know how to read and write, speak.
Fuck phonics.
Shoot.
I haven't read a book since high school.
Anyways, that's going to be it for Downloadable Opinions, episode number 11. Thank you very much for listening to us.